Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this has been a Intruder, and welcome to Heaven's Vault, a game which everybody sing along now. I've had my eye on for a while, and I really have for this one. This is one of the games I've been most looking forward to this year, because this is a game about deciphering ancient languages, a school of study we typically call philology, and I love philology. Philology is just the most fascinating thing. You may recall recently when I was doing the Imperator Rome videos, I was discussing the Minoan Empire and their language, Linear A, a language which we have samples of, but we simply cannot translate. And yet its close relation, Mycenaean Greek, Linear B, we have been able to translate because of the work of philologists, and I can't remember ever actually seeing a game like this before. A game about basically trying to translate a language, and oh, I'm so looking forward to this, it's gonna be amazing!
Stories don't have tidy beginnings. The past is always present.
It's also, you may notice, got a fascinating visual style going on here. A hand-drawn protagonist over 3D backgrounds. And do you know why I'm really excited about this? Because most people, their only exposure to archaeology in video games is Tomb Raider, which is quite possibly the worst example of archaeology imaginable. Lara just arbitrarily handles artifacts, destroys things, has no interest whatsoever in artwork or language scattered around the walls. In general, Lara Croft is the worst possible archaeologist I've ever seen, so I've really got high hopes for this being, you know, better quality archaeology. So here we go, we've got a temple with a bricked up opening. So what are we going to do here? I'm going to guess it's not get some dynamite and blow it the hell open. So keep people out, or keep something in. But there's something written here. Good. Rather than blowing something up, we're just going to start translating some ancient languages. Must have been cut when the mortar was still wet, but I think I can read it. Alright, let's get into some of this. So, what we've got is hieroglyphics. As many of the earliest languages we've actually got are. For example, over in the Minoan civilization, they had some script, Linear A, but they also used little hieroglyphic-like pictograms. Mistress Alia? I'm guessing that's me. Mistress Alia Elazra. Alright, that's who I am. I have been waiting for you. I have been asked to escort you to Professor Myari. She is very anxious for your arrival. Oh, this is cute. There's an actual flipping timeline here. So, 30 odd seconds ago, I learned that a robot was sent to actually escort me to Professor Myari. Meanwhile, about, 3-4 hours ago, Professor Myari wants me back on Iox, so that's when I got the message to come to the university. Meanwhile, if we just skip a little bit further back, to somewhere around 650 years ago, the Holy Ioxian Empire, based out of the Imperial Palace, ruled by a deified emperor that ran from 950 years ago to 350 years ago. So a 600-year reign, perfectly reasonable for a big successful empire. Gotcha. In fact, by a fun coincidence, about the same length of time that Minoa was actually a significant world power.
I was 15 when Myari rescued me from the slums of Elbereth and brought me here. I'd never seen such luxury or such kindness.
Ah, okay. So I've got a personal history with this professor. Tell me what you make of this. So, a brooch, old, did you call me here to value it? Yeah, that looks like a brooch. Sure, if I know what it is, I may as well say it out loud. Yes, Aaliyah, but I didn't summon you halfway across the nebula to tell me that. Well, it's old then. Me being a history expert, you probably already knew that. Empire period. Device is the eagle and the sun. One of the scholars sent this brooch to me. Janike Renba. Did you know him? Ooh, is he dead or something? Look at the detail. Oh, she changed the subject. I see ancient markings. I know they're a hobby of yours, Aaliyah, but can you read them? I've never seen either of these groupings before, but two words have some common elements, so they must have some related meanings. So, friend or holy? Okay, so right now I've got no real evidence to go on. Sometimes pictograms will literally look like the thing they're supposed to look like, so you could say that represented friend because there are two things standing nearby to each other. You could say it means holy because that could represent any form of ritual or whatnot. As it's a brooch, and thus potentially ceremonial, holy seems more likely, just in terms of context. So I'm going to put holy right here. And then, hang on. If the two words are closely related, then two things are going to need to actually be connected. Now, the Holy Emperor is a connection. Beloved Friend would also be a connection. But I'll try Holy Emperor to see if this is actually important. Because, yeah, if it's important, then it's more likely to be something to do with, like, the Holy Emperor than it is to do with just, you know, a friendship bracelet or whatever. So, we'll see if that's what it actually is. Now perhaps you see why you're here. Janiki told me he'd found something that was over a month ago. Ooh, by any chance has he actually gone missing? I'm gonna see what I can dig up for ya. Yeah, nice. And one more thing before I go. Go and see Huang. Okay, I'll pop in and see him. And apparently I've decided to call the robot 6. For reasons that aren't entirely clear. Is this the 6th robot I've ever met? I don't know. But here we are. Back to the translation. So, I think I did. The shape shows this as an empire piece. Yes, indeed. So that was one bit of evidence. So, yeah. Emperor. Correct. And the emperors believe themselves to be gods. So it makes sense the words will be almost the same. And here we go. I can now actually be confident in the translation of emperor and holy. So, I've got myself a couple of words, but more importantly, I've started to understand how the language fits together. So certain shapes will be commonplace. That little kind of staff symbol will probably refer to something to do with religion or royalty, the two being seen as very closely related to each other. Lovely. Hello there, you must be Huang. So, how are you doing? I'm going to be friendly. Here we go. He found a line of ancient in the annals that he thought I might like. Absolutely. Show me something here, because this will be potentially useful vocabulary. Here, see what you think. Empress, so very similar symbols. If I should compare that to emperor. So, passage from the annals. I know one of these words, I'll have to guess the other two. Okay, so. What are we going to do here? So, machines, robots, powers, rebels. Yeah, there was the implication that the robot is like ancient technology, so we're dealing with an advanced precursor race. So, Empress, very similar to Emperor. Banished or buried. Machines, robots, powers, or rebels. So, thing to note, over an Empress, look at that symbol on the right of Empress. In fact, actually, the symbol either side of Empress. The little kind of staff, but with the trailing line off the right. There's another one of those right here, which would, suggest some form of commonality between the two words. This, however, this is all new, so I don't have a huge amount to actually talk about there, but if I just had to guess just in terms of, like, culture and history, as a general rule, if someone gets banished, they sometimes get themselves a little bit written out of history. They're not so important, but if this is a significant line he wanted to draw to my attention, buried seems potentially a little bit more on the likely side. Especially if, we're supposed to take some of these pictograms literally. That symbol second in from the left could represent a stone structure erected in the desert, the lines underneath representing sand dunes. So I'm going to say that represents buried. We know that symbol on the right means something to do with holy or emperor. So power might actually be the sort of thing, because holy power, empire, power, there might be a connection there, so I'm guessing that's the best I can do. I'm going to put that in, but I'm not 100% sure there. It's just the best guess I've got based on that symbol over on the right, because none of the other symbols I'm familiar with at all. Well, the annals won't read themselves. He needs to get back to the library. And he's going to do it by walking straight through me. How rude. Oh, I love the flipping timelines here. So, Elbereth is, that's my home. It's where I'm more at when I want to sleep well. And as for Maersi, a tiny rural moon where Janiki told the professor he was going. Why would he be visiting a rice farm? Aboard the Nightingale. My ship is my refuge. It's the only place that's truly mine. Oh, hang on. First we actually have to literally sail on the space winds or something. Right, okay. So we need to... sail one way, sail the other. Or sweep sail. Oh, we're literally... Okay. We're literally, like, rowing through space. And uh-oh. I don't actually know which way I'm supposed to be going. So I really hope it's this way. Yeah, I hope the arrows are actually pointing as I was saying I was supposed to go.
It was a short sail through fast waters.
Alright, this is nice. This is a lovely way of doing space travel. So the waters will bring us right to Maersi, Mistress. Though apparently there's also a lovely verdant pass. Space, as it turns out, is super chill.
We stepped off the ship and into the mud. Mud covered the ground and rock. And everywhere I looked, things were growing from the mud. And some of those things had legs.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen a pig before. That's adorable. So let's just actually check here. How long did that flight actually take in real time? That was supposed to be about 9 hours or thereabouts. Gotcha. So we've got ourselves a little village here. Let's start having a little bit of a look-see-roundy and just figuring out, yeah, if there's any way I can... Oh, robots cannot swim. Oh, do you not fit across the plank? Right, you just stay right there. Okay, I'll be right back. I love these old moons with their ancient stories. So, what are you? Who is that, for example? One of the older goddesses. She appears to be sticking out of something. She is guarding the fields. I would estimate that 1,500 years have passed since she was carved. And that gets added straight into the timeline. Oh, that's beautiful. Right, hello there, Mr. Pig. I love you. You're my new pig friend. Right, let's have a closer look at this thing, because maybe the symbol on its eye might be of use. So, aha! Something is carved. So, holy, we already know about. Something very similar to holy over there. So, yeah, these glyphs remind me somewhat of the word for emperor. Yeah, we know about that, and I can actually find related words already. So, holy, that one's absolutely fine. This one has got to be goddess. Alright, it's got to be goddess. It's very, very similar. In fact, actually, hang on. Wasn't I already shown? No, I was shown empress earlier, not goddess. But if that's holy, I feel like they're connected. And we know what this thing is doing. It's guarding fields, and it's nearby to water that keeps crops growing. And also, look at the little wavy things there. That's gotta be water. This is a holy water goddess, protecting fields, ensuring fertility, etc. That seems right to me. I'm going to say that's probably true. And, yeah, there's certainly plenty of water here. That seems like that's actually a good idea right there. And we've got people. Hello there. So, sorry if I startled you. Just looking for someone, actually. Let's start with that. Oh, hang on. This is precisely how Resident Evil 4 started. That didn't end well for anybody. Are you from Iox? I'm not going to answer that in case she's prejudiced against me because I'm not from around here. I'm just going to tell her my name. Alright? My name's Aaliyah. Then you are not her. Not Myari. No, but I was sent by her. And I've adopted her surname because she rescued me and I never knew my real parents. He told me you might come, and I'm guessing you're talking about Janiki. He left something for you with the goddess to keep it safe. Okay, so you're referring to the statue right there. Yeah, with Kibenya. I hope you find him. But now we know, left something with that, here's Remba's mysterious secret, almost buried in grass, a shard of crystal. 6. It is most curious. This moon does not contain any crystals of this type. Okay, what are we actually looking at here? 6, what can you actually tell me about this? Iolite, mistress. Valueless. And perhaps we should actually return to the ship. No, let's actually have a little look-see-roundy first. We need to actually, at least check whether the guy's alive or dead or whatever. And the stone inside the brooch is the same as the crystal. They come from the same source. Alright, and can we find the source? With some analysis, mistress, I believe we can. Here we go. Elsewhere in the rice fields, something in the mud. It is it more crystal? A sculpture fashioned from silver, something from the Holy Empire. This must have been dropped here years ago. It's only just been revealed by irrigation. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now I recognise part of that symbol. That was some of the holy words. So now I need to actually, add spaces in, because many ancient languages don't bother with spaces. This is true if you look at Roman inscriptions when they're written on walls. There's no spacing, because why would you actually need them? So, okay, we've got a few bits and pieces here. Water, which we're not 100% sure about, but I'm pretty confident about that. It can't actually be empresses or emperor, because, yeah, there isn't enough of that. Holy, or gods, is right there. Ah, hang on, no, holy, rather than gods, because there's the extra bit right there. Okay, that's fine. That means I can now split out the others. With the middle word, I can now see the other bits. So, this one, this grouping resembles my translation for buried. But that was a bit of a fluffy translation, and only because, yeah, I went for the structure over the sand thing, so whether that's necessarily important or not... Okay, let's just go over here first. So, holy, this was a silver sculpture. So, heart, word, friend, or light. Claim, follow, welcome, is. Now, I will say for this one, water has that little symbol either side, and then the squiggly lines in the middle. Possibly the middle part of the inscription represents some form of elemental item, like, you know, a fundamental force of nature. And the symbols either side represent, hey, this is a natural thing. Water, fire, or light, because it's a pictogram, so light from above. I'm going to say light, and I'm actually pretty confident about that. And if we look to the left there at holy and emperor, same basic principle applies. So the symbol for holy, emperor, the middle bit means emperor itself, the symbols around it mean holy and holy, basically. So they're just surrounded by the term holy. Once again, we've got the same two things on either side. We've actually got, yeah, one thing on one side and one thing on the other, meaning the pictograms in the middle are often the most important bit for figuring out the meaning. Now, I don't see anything obvious here, but I'll say, the symbol in the middle, now we know the symbol either side, those actually just kind of provide context, it's the middle bit that provides meaning. That's very small, it's a dash and a dot. That would suggest to me that it was probably a very common, frequently used word. Like, for example, the verb to be. I'm going to put that as a guess in, so light is holy, something of that nature. Let's just say that for now. We'll see if we can actually confirm that later. And here we go, we're starting to actually track this down here. So we know the crystal is made of iolite. Iolite can only come from this area. And now we also have this sculpture that would come from somewhere in this area. So all of a sudden, we're narrowing it down to the middle of the Venn diagram. Oh, I've caught someone's attention. Hello there, I'm not here to rob you, not Lara Croft, just here to translate languages. Okay, fine, I have stolen one silver sculpture, and go on, if he wants to trade, what do you have to trade? Because he might have an artifact. If you don't know that, you have not come to trade. You know what, that's actually fair enough, good point. If we had seen your friend, if he had met with an accident among us, what would Iox do? Ooh, right. Iox is just and fair, but if I'm saying that out loud, that probably means Iox isn't just or fair to your people. So, that's not going to go down well. He probably doesn't think that. Your friend was here. He left in a ship. Then something exploded in the sky. I do not know if that was your friend. Right, so something bad's happened, but no idea whether he's actually dead or not. But possibly he is. And no one by the looks of it is willing to talk to me. Fine, but I think I did just see an inscription on the well. Okay, that's got to be something to do with water, surely. So, holy water. Ooh, okay, plenty of inscriptions going on here. So far I've speculated that this symbol might mean buried or is, but I might be wrong, because now we're looking at from, crystal, guard, and heal. Now, is and from might actually have basically the same meaning, because is something and is from something can be the same thing if one of the other words simply has a case, like the genitive or the dative, for example. So, I'm going to say potentially that could be from right there. Now that symbol, that looks a little bit on the unusual side. Something to do with buried. I'm not sure I see the similarity myself. So, holy water. Let's actually say, you know what, we've got the long line there and the symbol. That might be a pictogram for like a well or a hole, because the holy water is coming from below. And then finally, words I've seen before that might help. So, aha! Okay, I'm starting to be more confident now about buried, Because, look at that symbol in the middle there. If that does indeed mean earth, then buried might actually mean, yeah, under the earth. And meanwhile, over there on the right, the elemental symbols, the squiggle and the line on the left and the right respectively, which we've already seen for water and for light. If I'm correct and that means elemental, then that would actually mean that this would be earth. So holy water is from below the earth. I think that's actually going to be accurate right there. Oh, I love this. That is beautiful. By the way, any chance you can translate this inscription for me, just to confirm what I've actually just done? A child could read it. The symbols simply say water. Are you sure about that? Because, yeah, there's a fair few symbols floating around here. And what else would it say? It is a well. So that kind of confirms what I was just saying. Holy water from under the ground. Literally a long-winded way of saying well. Spot on. Alright, I think I've actually seen everything on this little moon on this occasion. So, in which case, it's time to head on our way. We've learnt a fair bit of language here. And so we left. Honestly, I'm a little bit worried about my safety. Last guy who came here from Iox, when he left, he exploded immediately afterwards. So, maybe just check the ships for bombs, just in case. Here we go. We've got enough evidence to actually track down the iolite moon, which matches up with all the evidence I've found so far. So, let's sail there, but apparently the waters are going to be a bit on the choppy side. Oh, am I entering space rapids right now? Vicinity of the iolite moon. What happened to the river? Yeah, it's suddenly a bit calm. I feel like we're becalmed in space right now. We're barely sailing, but we are moving. Yes, indeed, we can do some space flaps to just keep going forward. Alright, the iolite moon should be around here somewhere. So just keep swimming through space. Site must be hidden somewhere. Okay. Well, let's just loop around here. What have we found? Aha! I think we found our moon. But that wasn't like, you know, nice and round or anything. It looked a bit, you know, shattered. And the robot's going down there alone because there's no air. Gotcha. Oh, never mind. He's right back. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what did you... Never mind. It's not evil. He just went straight down there and just grabbed something. Right, I thought we'd be actually playing as him, but no. An engineer's chest. So this might be Janiki's. Probability is high. I believe the moon below us was once a quarry, but the box is no artifact. Alright, let's just see what we got going on here, robot. In fact, that was very quick. Well done. So we hid a roll of cloth, or possibly silk or something, inside a toolbox. So why would he do that? Well, in all fairness, rugs and cloth, valuable historical artifacts, ceremonial robes, potentially something very of interest, and, characters picked out in a darker thread. Now, some of that is starting to look very familiar to me. I'm seeing stuff like holy, I'm seeing stuff like possibly burial or sand or something. Right, that one's a bit of a mystery to me, so... related to earth and water, perhaps, but what do I know here? What do I actually know? Well, the symbol on the right could be interpreted as rain, and yeah, the one in the middle could be interpreted as rain hitting something. Garden seems like not a terrible bet, to be honest, under the circumstances. So, this one's a long one. We already know, yeah, surrounded by the symbols that seem to refer to holiness. And potentially related also to, yeah, an actual kind of maybe deserts? Buried in sand, possibly earth and then sand on the right and the left and buried there. I'm going to say, as we know, we've actually got ourselves, holiness right there. I'm going to say pilgrims. This was a pilgrimage robe. So, stronger ahead follow together. Again, very, very simple indeed. So, from... is... I mean, follow could again be a function of is. Basically, follow is towards. So, is followed by a dative would be a perfectly viable reading of that. So, pilgrims, follow... I'm going to say garden. I'm just going to go with my gut and say that's rain. heading towards maybe a pond or something. We'll go with that for now. We'll have to review it later. And there's more in here too. This is a compass, beautifully preserved. Alright, casing has been inscribed. So, we've got light over there, absolutely. And then other than that, we've also got possibly R right there, leaving us with a new symbol over here that's, yeah, something to do with, well, okay. I'm going to put guesses in right now, which is I recognise the symbol for light there. Light, possibly something to do with well or hole. I mean, stars. Stars are light. I mean, that's true. That's true right there. So, I'm just going to say stars are light. That seems like a good thing, because light does shine down from above. And also, compass, part of navigation. Stars tied to navigation as well. So yeah, this all works together. And one more thing here. So, pocket-sized hardbound book. And what we've got here is... well, that's one of the symbols that we find inside Emperor. Okay. I'd have assumed the bits on the outside are the holy bits. So, that just indicates holiness. I'll say temple for now. And then we've got pilgrims again, R and light. That's circular symbol. I need to figure out what the circular means. But the double dash, okay. Pilgrims, that's the interesting one right there. So, pilgrims. The sand, the holy, the line that's third in from the left on pilgrims I'm not familiar with yet. Temple. And this is a book. And the symbol on the right there, again, something to do with holiness there. It's the same symbols. Knowledge could be a good estimate there. Because, yeah, if this was a religious society, holiness and knowledge might have been closely connected to their concept of words. So, temple, knowledge. That one's a mystery. I will simply say future, just because I'm vaguely guessing on the two circles, the smaller circle representing the present, the larger representing the future, i.e., you know, events rippling outwards. I'm going to put that there. But I'm not 100% sure on the meaning yet. Future knowledge. I wonder how old this book really is. Okay, I might have been some of the way there. Probably, I need to, yeah, take this back to the university at some point, get some help with some of this. Apparently the robot knows where the robe came from. What's going on here? Show me where he went, 6. I'm not exactly certain, mistress, but... I believe Rember travelled far from home into the eye of the cyclones. Okay, gotcha. Also, I'm guessing the cyclones are given this name because one of the Bronze Age civilizations, one actually just north of the Minoans, was actually the Cyclades. They're a group of islands between modern-day Greece and modern-day Turkey. Again, a very old, noteworthy civilization. I'm guessing that's where the name comes from here. Oh, we've got some speed going on now. Right, into the centre of the flippin' universe. Right. Brake to the right, brake to the right, brake to the right. Come on. Let's stay away from the current, please. There we go. And here we go. Another little becalmed bit of space. Alright. So we're near the eye of the cyclones right now. Where precisely does that mean we should be going next? Well, there's something going on over here. A moon. There is no upriver, but there is air. Right. Let's get down there and have a little explore.
The hopper fired, and for a moment I was gone. Not aboard the Nightingale, not on the moon beneath. It could have been a heartbeat or an hour. But I didn't feel the cold until I reappeared.
Ah, by any chance, are we back to the very beginning of the game? This looks somewhat similar to where we started off.
Here, in the middle of the hurricane, there was a house. It was fine. Tucked in below the overhanging rock. Wooden beams, mud brick walls, shutters. Large enough for 2 families to argue over. It would have been measly on Iox and grand on Elbereth. But here, it was impossible.
I do like the voice actress. I can't quite place the accent she's got, but I do rather like it. And yeah, someone else. lives in the eye of the space hurricane. Fascinating. Right, into the house here, and we've got ourselves a rough bed. Whoever built this place wasn't worried about making it cozy. And an inscription. Good. Let's start writing this all down. And oh, bloody hell. What? What the hell? Okay, difficulty is starting to step up here. Right, big old piles of stuff. What do we know here? That is something to do with holy. So, beloved, let's just say goddess. Goddess feels a bit too long for that, to be honest. And then we've got, yeah, light shining down on something to do with holy and light, or possibly royalty and lights. Okay, now this is interesting. I wouldn't have actually picked any of these. Okay, back again. And then we've got ourselves a cross and a line, some form of connective. And then we've got ourselves something to do with, yeah, another short thing, another very short thing. That could be is right there. And then we're straight back over to, hang on, is that the same symbol as we've got over here? It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so the same thing is there twice. So, in which case, this is an expression. So, something, something, something is something, something, something. We might actually be looking at a metaphor here. Gotcha. Ah, but actually, here's something very interesting. Line for is, cross line is not. Okay, yeah, there we go. Alright, so that definitely feels like that's what that is. Gotcha. So is and something something is not. Fine. So something something is something, and that is, that's, hang on, those two things are, ah, right. So circle 3 dashes down, but holy symbol versus ground symbol. Okay, or something to do with ground symbol. Alternatively, forms, correct. This must be some form of similar concept to the other. So correct, blood, form, or smile. Or field, wish, empire, or sun. This is starting to get tricky. And here we can start putting more things together. So, squiggly line and cross squiggly line. So logically, that would be and that one would be but, which is like and but reversed. So, okay, we can start putting together, yeah, the basic blocks here, even if we're struggling with the vocabulary, just by, yeah, just looking at the symbols and starting to make some assumptions. Okay, I've made some intuitive leaps here. So we know this symbol, or at least we know a bit of it, something to do with holy. So I'm going to put goddess in there. And bear in mind, of course, in many languages, word order is not important. If you've got cases, word order is irrelevant. So just because something doesn't read well in English doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. So the goddess, the form of a snake or not of the sun. So this could be a speculation. What is the actual form of an entity they worshipped? And the reason I think snake might be a translation here is, one, connection to the ground and the earth, a creature on the earth. But also, if you're at the heart of a big swirling maelstrom, you're going to see things that look a bit like snakes twirling around the sky. Potentially, is this a discussion about what to worship? Worshipping the snakes in the sky, the maelstrom itself, rather than the sun. So this could be a theological debate, I'm not sure. Here we go, something on the roof as well. Metal belt buckle, tiny inscription, lovely. And here we go, I've started figuring out certain connectives. So I now know be and with, because I've actually, yeah, figured them out in multiple different locations. Now this one's a bit on the unusual side, and bear in mind it's written on a belt. So, here, beloved, me, and beauty. Okay, could be beauty or beloved, if that's somehow tied to religious observation. I mean, holy we're 100% sure about, but that's a very small part of holy. Below, that was on the well, wasn't it? So, holy water from below the earth. Yeah, I'm actually pretty confident about that one. That one I'm pretty sure I'm correct about. But then again, it could be birth as well. Birth would be a viable reading of the well, because holy water is born from the earth. So, that'd be fine too. I'm going to say true, in case that's tied to the idea of, yeah, religious truth, and be true with your beloved. Potentially, the idea of love tied to holiness, tied to the emperor. Someone just had that inscribed on an item of their own clothing, because, yeah, just be true with your beloved. It's a nice sentiment. Here we go, something carved above the door. And this one we might be able to intuit based on its context. There's only so many things you're going to write above a door. And my translation of garden has now been confirmed incorrect because I've seen it in more instances. Okay, so that means we can now start putting that back together. So, previously I thought this symbol might mean garden. So, knowledge do not every. Alright, something. Brightest life division of dawn. Well, dawn feels like an excellent starting point there. Actually, so does brightest, to be perfectly honest, because, yeah, we've got light there, we've got stars, we've got below or birth, so dawn feels like a really good starting point there. And that symbol might reasonably mean night, if that refers to, say, sun rising. Dawn from every night. So in other words, every night will be followed by the dawn. Nice, comforting thing to write above your house, potentially. And I can just make out an inscription on the far side of this little kind of gap here on that building. So, okay. More of that symbol with the double lines. That's interesting. So, emperors, fine. We've got that one. Except now I'm starting to suspect that symbol might mean darkness. Night meaning potentially something like the period of darkness before light. This therefore could mean a dark metal. Iron. It could be iron. Meanwhile, we know the cross does indeed mean not. That's a negative. So, not dark would mean shine. Oh, I feel like we're on something here. So, emperors, iron, shine. Okay, and then that symbol goddess, but I wasn't 100% sure about that goddess thing. There's a negative in there as well. So, actually there's a negative in goddess too. That little cross symbol meaning not. I mean, there's a cross in there. It could just be wrong. The emperor's iron shines wrong. Okay, let's just work with that for now anyway. And more inscriptions on the rock too. Spot on. Now, water, I'm incredibly confident about, to be honest, because, yeah, this is a flipping river. Except maybe not. Hang on. No, never mind. From. Something from water. So shove that in there. And now we've got, aha, that squiggly symbol. I'd like to know what that actually is. Yeah, water, almost a pictogram. So water, definitely. The question is, what does that other one mean? Because that will actually give me a lot more information about the inscription I just found. Life. Okay, that's potentially interesting. Life from water. That would make sense. In which case, yeah, that symbol meaning alive or living. Goddess might be right in that case, because something that means more than alive. Okay, that's worth thinking about, especially as, yeah, there's a little kind of sculpture over there. That's the shrine right there again. And yes, indeed, because I spoke to everyone on the previous planet, it's Kipenia, the fertility goddess, the one of water. So, same drawing, despite being on the other side of the galaxy. And there's a tiny, tiny little inscription on the bottom. Several words. So, okay, goddess, absolutely. We put that right there? Yeah, there we go. So now there's just one more symbol. So, goddess of... I wonder if that actually means... It won't be desert, because it wasn't always a desert. The point is, there used to be water here. Now, harvest. That seems like a good bet for this, because, yeah, there's some kind of vaguely sickle-like shapes going on there, if it's a bit of a pictogram. Goddess of the harvest, right by the water. If they were growing anything anywhere, it was right here. And the stone of the shrine has given me a new location. Lovely. because the stone is very distinctive. Love it. And I think we might just have found the exploded ship of what's-his-face. Right. Possibly, yeah, it caught fire while it was leaving Maersi, and then just about limped its way over here before exploding. Here we go. There's a small telescope next to the wreckage. I'm guessing, yeah, there was something up on the roof. A pedestal that would have fit a telescope. Right, okay. I know what we're doing next then. And we've got confirmation I got the word for friend wrong. But true, I was correct on. Okay, so we're starting to learn things here. We're picking up vocabulary. Beauty is a possibility if there's a religious connection. Yeah, religious beauty of some description. So, beauty, true. Beauty speaks the truth. Beauty looks true. Both viable sentiments. I mean, the symbol second in from the left could be something hitting an ear, like sound hitting an ear. But also, on the other hand, it could be a stylized drawing of an eye. And it's on a telescope, that's the thing. Contextually, on a telescope, something like, beauty appears true, or some sentiment of that nature, that's the thing you might write on a telescope if you're slightly pretentious. But, if you own a golden telescope, you probably are. And we're starting to get into things we understand here. Water and goddess we already know about. And, yeah, blessers, that's definitely something to do with holiness right there. What's that one? Light or... elemental. Okay, something to do with elemental. Fire. The water goddess blesses this fire. Yes, I'm sure she does. I'm pretty confident about that. And a painting of the rivers of Ghostwake gives us a precise location for where we need to go next. That's where all of this stuff comes from. Now, beauty has also been scratched out here. There's clearly a connection to, emperor and goddess, but we've got nothing left but me and here. There might be the idea of humanity itself being holy, so alright, fine. Now that symbol, I speculated earlier something to do with desert, but that squiggly line, something to do with life. And this over here, that symbol I speculated was something to do with harvest, but it might also have been... hang on, what was the alternative translation for the goddess of the harvest? Because this was the statue outside. The goddess of us, goddess of brain, goddess of day. Gotcha. This was written over a map. One of the options could be take, as in, take crops, but also just take. Then take me home. Someone could have written take me home on a map if they were actually describing a home they wanted to get back to. That's possible. That's entirely possible.
And there it was, just lying there. The greatest treasure I ever found.
Oh, I found something in the house too.
From inside the coffer, from the distant past of the nebula's once great empire. It was a crown.
Oh, flip. That's pretty fancy. Right. So I'm guessing that my friend found that. They should have put it on. No, don't do that. For God's sakes, Lara, put it down. And of course, we've got something written along the rim here. Some stuff we haven't figured out yet. But... okay, let's start piecing things together here. So, that's gotta mean empire, because it's so similar to emperor. So something of the empire, I'm going to guess that is jewel. So jewel of the empire, that is got to be something to do with bright. So shines, yep, okay, shines, that's reasonable right there. I mean, we've got the sun symbol coming down. So the jewel of the empire shines bright of, okay. Hope could be. Hope seems like a reasonable guess just in terms of sense. So, yeah, the jewel of the empire shines bright of, or perhaps with, hope. Or maybe the sun. Could just be the sun shines brightly. I feel like sun feels like a good bet there. It's literally a circle with light coming off it. That's got to be right. And yeah, there's nothing to be done with plugging the telescope back to where it actually once was. We're just taking the telescope with us, got it. There's nothing to be learned by plugging it back in by the Luxia things. And I think at that point, therefore, we've got everything. So, I think I know what I want to do now. I'm not where I want to be. We were supposed to teleport back up to the ship. Robot, you've screwed me over. Something's gone wrong, and also you don't have a head anymore. Right, where am I? Where are we both? You might confess your lies safely. What's going on here? What lie? Who are you and what are you talking about? The robot's gone mad. Do you recognise who I am at all, strange robot subroutine that's just taken over? You say you are the highest of the high, she who knows people, but you are nothing I know. What the heck is going on? The brooch I sent was from the body. The Emperor's body, unburned, not even buried. You fooled them all of them. Okay, whatever you're talking about, I've got the brooch right here. I am taking the body, I will return it to the rivers. I am not coming back to Iox, not yet. There isn't time. I found something. Right, something that matters more than your lies. Lexi, there is great darkness. All-consuming hungry darkness. Oh, there's always all-consuming hungry darkness, and it's always bloody coming. Right, so this is Remba. What on earth is going on? Are you dead or are you not dead, Renba? And there is an ancient observatory, something to do with fate. It's watching. What on earth's going on here? I feel like I'm about to bloody meet Sovereign. Oh, I think he's gone. And my robot's back. Right, so something's gone a bit on the wrong side there. And apparently Doomsday is coming. But I didn't start it, so I'm still one step above Lara. And here we go, my friend Huang back at the university. He knows where an observatory might be. Which, yeah, my dead or potentially not dead friend says is somehow connected to the oncoming doom. But unfortunately, he's not much help in providing any new vocab. Alright, fine, I'm going to need to put this together by myself. Ah, the telescope. I point true. That's certainly a valid reading. And a much better reading for the compass. Follow the star's light. And again, the things we found earlier are starting to make a lot more sense. The silver sculpture, follow holy light. Which makes a lot more sense. Now we're talking about light, suns, an observatory of some description, golden telescopes, all that good stuff. So we've got a few things that need to be done. We need to go and speak to the professor, but do we actually want to do that? Because, yeah, at this point, certain questions are being asked about whether Myari is lying, entirely honest, something is going wrong. We might want to explore a bit before we go and have a chat to her. And now we could go and check out, yeah, the lead we just got from Huang, potentially get the observatory down over there. I could go home and find an old friend of mine who might be able to help me out with some of the artifacts I've recovered. I now know about, yes, Ghost's Wake, which is where the Emperor wanted to go next, so I can head over there. And potentially also on Elbereth, somewhere in here, there's an unknown moon. I don't know where it is, so I'm guessing I can find clues on Elbroth. So, plenty yet to do, ladies and gentlemen, but you know what? I think I'm going to leave things off there, because a game like this, part of the joy is figuring it out for yourself. But this is very, very interesting indeed. I can't remember ever playing anything quite like this. It's absolutely fascinating. But yes, a brilliant little thing, if only because I can't help but admire something that does something different, and this does. This has very little hand-holding going on. You need to figure things out by yourself. It rewards you for trying to use context to figure things out. It rewards you for using your intuition. It rewards you for just looking at things and trying to piece things together. Heaven's Vault, link in the description below. Well worth a look, see, and I might be tempted to bring it back as a live stream. I don't know. I'll have a think about that, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Heaven's Vault. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
This guy's enjoying that. This guy's enjoying his elephant a bit too much.
Oh my god.
In Fair Verona, we set our scene. Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big. They've managed to glitch inside one of the buildings. Elephants in the rear! And then in comes the chariot!